The New Orleans coroner confirms at least 15 people were killed, and we now know dozens more were hurt. We also have new information about the driver, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, an Army vet from Texas. President Biden says the FBI found social media videos from hours before the attack where the suspect said he was inspired by ISIS, and investigators say he had 4 explosive devices in his truck. The attack happened less than a mile from where the now postponed Sugar Bowl was set to take place. New Orleans is also set to host the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras in the coming weeks. Let's take a live look at the scene on Bourbon Street. Police officers are still there right now. We have team coverage, including a report from the attacker's home in Houston, but we begin with Derick Waller with the latest on the investigation. Derick.
And Dick, the suspect here, the attacker, is dead, but the FBI actually says this is an ongoing and active terror investigation. They want to know if the U.S. Army veteran turned ISIS sympathizer had any help planning this deadly attack. This is the aftermath of the deadliest vehicle ramming attack in U.S. history. Surveillance video showing the moment that Ford F-150 pickup bypassed a New Orleans police vehicle, driving onto the sidewalk and mowing down pedestrians who were celebrating the new year on Bourbon Street. Zion Parsons was there. His friend died.
Bodies all up and down the street, everybody screaming and hollering. You look down, you see somebody doing CPR. You look around, people crying on the floor.
New Orleans police officers exchanged gunfire with 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen.
Last night, 3 of our officers engaged this terrorist who shot at them. 3 of the officers returned fire. Those officers did not run in fear.
This is the attacker in a now deleted YouTube video from 5 years ago, introducing himself as a Houston area real estate agent. Video showing a SWAT team at a home in Houston, sources say is connected to the investigation. The Beaumont, Texas native spent 10 years in the U.S. Army as a human resources and IT specialist. According to the FBI, Jabbar rented that pickup truck from the Houston area on December 30th. Inside the vehicle, improvised explosive devices and an ISIS flag. President Biden also sharing this.
The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS.
The attack prompting immediate questions about security in a pedestrian hotspot. Metal bollards on the street were malfunctioning, so police vehicles were placed there instead.
We did have a car there, we had barriers there, we had officers there.
But a police captain admitting they did not plan for someone to drive onto the sidewalk.
Of course, it wasn't something we expected to account for.
Louisiana Governor Jeff Landry promising action.
We recognize we got a problem right here, right? We're going to fix it.
And amid these glaring security concerns, the Sugar Bowl was postponed until tomorrow in New Orleans. Louisiana's governor promising the event will be secure and even says he will be there, Dick.
All right, Derek, thanks very much. And tonight, law enforcement is converging on the neighborhood in Texas where the attacker lived. Jason Allen has more from Houston.
Dick, the FBI and the Harris County Sheriff's SWAT team here in Houston has been out here with armored vehicles on the edge of a neighborhood. They are focused on one of the most recent addresses that is connected to Shamsuddin Jabbar. That address is a house on a single street of homes, maybe a dozen, maybe up to 15 of them, homes and trailers. It's down a single street that is blocked off by a gate. When sheriff deputies first arrived here this afternoon, they told us there was no evacuation order, no one's in danger, but that changed as we got into the evening hours. They've told us that they have started asking residents on that street to leave out of concern for their safety. No one has been arrested, and we know from talking to officials that they have not yet been inside the house that they are focused on. They are waiting, they told us, for authorization, presumably a search warrant, before they can get inside that house. In the meantime, they've been standing by. They have been flying drones up above the neighborhood constantly, and they have been relaxed but still cautious, understandably, given everything that happened in New Orleans this morning. Jason Allen in Houston, CBS News New York.
And we are now learning the names of some of the victims of the attack, including 28-year-old Tiger Besh, who has connections to New York and New Jersey. Alecia Reid has more.
Friends and family have started identifying their loved ones who were killed during the New Year's attack on Bourbon Street. They include Nakira Cheyenne Dedeaux, Nicole Perez, Tiger Besh, and Reggie Hunter.
Over the middle, wide open, Tiger Besh. First sketch of the season for Besh.
Besh was on Princeton's football team, wearing the number 7 jersey. The All-Ivy League kick returner played for the Tigers from 2016 to 2018. In a statement, Besh's former coach says in part, he was a Tiger in every way, a ferocious competitor with endless energy, a beloved teammate, and a caring friend. Their last conversation was about how proud he was of Besh's success, who was currently employed by Seaport Global in New York City. Besh's younger brother Jack posting to social media, "Love you always, brother. You inspired me every day. Now you get to be with me in every moment. I got this family, T. Don't worry. This is for us." Tonight, a prayer service was held for Tiger Besh at the St. Thomas More High School Chapel in Lafayette. The Louisiana native played there before heading to college. 37-year-old father of 2, Reggie Hunter, is from Baton Rouge and worked as a store manager. His cousin says the family last heard from him minutes after midnight when he wished everyone a Happy New Year in the family group chat. He's remembered as full of life, always laughing and joking. He was out celebrating with his cousin Kevin Ball, who was injured and remains hospitalized. 27-year-old Nicole Perez was a store manager in Louisiana. Her friend and boss says she was a good-hearted person, a smart and dedicated employee. She leaves behind a 4-year-old son. Nakira Cheyenne Dado's mother posted her loss on social media, with Dado wearing a graduation cap and gown from 2024. As the names of victims are released, prayers continue to go out. In Midtown, Alecia Reid, CBS News, New York.
Now, a CBS reporter just happened to be on Bourbon Street with her husband when the attack occurred. She described what it was like to experience the terrifying ordeal firsthand.
We really got a full glimpse of just how horrific, how grim the scene really was. We saw people who were unconscious, we saw bodies on the ground, we saw blood on the streets. It was a scene I most certainly will never forget in my life.
Now, Weiss said she wasn't surprised that Bourbon Street was so crowded because in New Orleans, 3 a.m. is a normal time for people to be out, especially on New Year's. And security is always a major concern for events here in New York. Naveen Dhaliwal reports the NYPD is closely monitoring the developments in New Orleans.
As the stage for the biggest New Year's Eve party in the country is dismantled on New Year's Day, New York law enforcement is on alert after a deadly attack in New Orleans.
New York is always an attractive target. Today we deployed police personnel to the right locations.
Mayor Eric Adams says security is beefed up on key targets, and law enforcement sources told us Wednesday night there are enhanced deployments at Trump Tower.
And we're going to continue to remain vigilant as people move about their daily lives here.
Mayor Eric Adams says there's no credible threat to New York City at this time, but NYPD sources say they've been operating at a heightened threat environment since the October 7th attacks in Israel.
We leverage technology, obviously the manpower, the woman power of our department and all of our partners.
Law enforcement sources say a December FBI bulletin addressed concerns about vehicle ramming on New Year's Eve. This year, the NYPD extended the frozen zone where vehicles cannot enter to prevent a vehicle-borne attack. Back in May of 2017, a car crashed in Times Square, killing 1 person and injuring nearly 24. That driver was found not responsible due to insanity. And then in October 2017, a man ran over 8 people on the West Side Highway bike path, killing them. After these incidents, the city added additional security barriers.
Jersey barriers are these concrete barriers that you place at the intersection that will not allow any vehicles to get in. In addition to that, here in New York City, oftentimes we use sanitation trucks. We place those sanitation trucks at those intersections and nothing is getting through.
In Midtown, Naveen Dhaliwal, CBS News New York.
Investigators are trying to figure out if there's any link between the New Orleans attack and a Cybertruck explosion outside a Trump hotel in Vegas. Tonight, officials said fireworks, mortars, and camp fuel canisters were inside the Tesla truck. The person inside died and 7 people nearby had minor injuries. Investigators know who rented the truck on an app called Turo and are working to find out if that's the person killed in the vehicle. Local and federal officials are investigating whether this was an act of terrorism.
We believe this is an isolated incident. We do not believe that there's a bunch of folks out there supporting this or helping this, and we don't believe that there's any other danger to the community right now.
Investigators say the truck bed structure is intact because the explosion shot straight upward instead of out to the sides. Stay with CBS News New York as we continue to follow all the aspects of these stories, including the New Orleans attack and the Cybertruck fire. You can find those updates anytime on CBSNewYork.com.